Basic grade, paved the way, changed the rate, released the pain, least you sane, getting paid, trend setting, brighter days, doper rap, tighter sets, high in deli, I'm a fighter jet, Jeremy.
What's really good, ladies and gentlemen? It's OG Boricua Tantara. Y'all already know what it is. Like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. You see all this tickers down here. Eventually, they got to put my right one because it's no longer Boricua Tantara. It's Bodi_UWN. It is what it is. But Muffins Martinez, I got to ask you one thing because he's our regulars. He always watches our stuff. He comments on our stuff. He said something that resonated with my brain and triggered me. I said, I'm going to do this and I got to show you respect. And I wish I remembered to wrote down the name, but he had said, yo, I think it would be the perfect opportunity for MLW and Impact Wrestling to do a joint partnership with no egos. Because at that point, AEW and MLW both rise together and they kind of battle against AEW, right? Like, because WWE is never going to fall off their perch. They're the top dogs. They're the granddaddies. They're the godfathers, the holy ho. You know, they're the Pee Wee Kirklands of this. So they're the top dogs. But if you actually sat there and did a program where you keep the main titles off, and this is what we have said enough times with each other, if you kept the main titles off, so right now I think Macklin, I was going to call him Jeremy Macklin, but that's football player. Macklin is your heavyweight Impact Wrestling champion, and Alexander Hammerstone is your MLW champion. Yeah. Take both of them and do not put them involved, right? Everyone else, every other belt can change hands back and forth. Yeah. You could have some of our women go there, some of their women come here. I mean, at this point, you did have Trinity, who was in Impact Wrestling, which was a big deal. She had a great pop and everything else. But if you could have a Del Miexo versus Deonna Purrazzo, a Del Miexo versus Trinity, a Del Miexo versus Rosemary, Tasha Steeles, the list keeps going on and on and on and on. Same with We Hope Becca as well. Tag teams. Impact needs tag teams. MLW has a few tag teams. You could go back and forth. X Division, MLW has a bunch of guys that would be great for the X Division. They got a bunch of guys that would be great for the middleweight, the national open weight, back and forth. The opportunities of having like a Fatu versus Moose, who was just on PCW Ultra, you could see that. You know what I mean? There's so many amazing opportunities, but no egos. It can't just be, well, all my guys got to win because I'm bigger. All my guys got to win because I'm so-and-so. That shit is corny to me. The opportunity to have fresh shit back and forth is incredible. And look at the last Impact show they did. They had a partnership, Mania Weekend with who? Was it New Japan?
Yeah, New Japan Wrestling, yep.
And it was a buzz. People talked about it because people want to see shit that they can't normally see. Exactly. You give opportunity and you do it the right way, people tune in. MLW fans start tuning into Impact. Impact fans start tuning into MLW. Both companies rise at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be such a beautiful thing. And like I said, creatively, if you sat back in a room and said, all right, let's take our world champions out so we don't ever, we have our top prize on our show. Everything else is free game. I got this person, I think they can match up well. You got this person, I think they can match up well, and vice versa. Talk to me about this real quick so we could jump out of here and I can eat because I'm starving like Marvin.
Bro, that's a beautiful, amazing idea, that will never happen in this world.
You don't think so?
No, just because of, like you said, the egos. There's too much egos. There's too much business sense. People want, like you said, we don't want to lose and look bad in a pay-per-view. We want to win. You can't win everything. But if people will say, you know something, let's put the egos aside. Let's do this for the fans. The fans are the ones who are putting us at where we at. They're giving us the money. They're paying for this. If it wasn't because of them, we would not be having this type of shows. So, it'll be amazing. Something like that ever happens is if somebody would just go, Billy Corgan and Kurt Bauer will sit down. Hey, I love your music, blah blah blah. And let's put our egos aside. I want to do this with the N.W.A. or Scott Norholm down there in Impact Wrestling. Let's do this. this could bring so much eyes and revenue to a special location that will get all that money, you get that of money coming in for that day, and then whatever pay-per-views, you have fans of Impact who don't watch MLW and vice versa. For one day, everything goes. Right now, WWE is having SmackDown this Friday from Puerto Rico.
Baby.
They're having Backlash on Saturday from Puerto Rico. You know
and
how
Bad Bunny's involved, right?
Yeah, Bad Bunny's wrestling against Priest. You know, Punishment Martinez.
But he was born and raised in Puerto Rico as well, right?
Who?
Damian Priest.
What do you mean?
The Priest guy.
Yeah.
Wasn't he born and raised in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, he's Puerto Rican. Yeah.
Yeah.
Punishment Martinez.
There you go.
You know how much revenue that is going to bring Puerto Rico, bro. It's going to be millions that they're going to bring to Puerto Rico because it's 2 days that people are going to get there on Thursday till leaving Sunday. People from the United States, people from other countries are going to come down there for that. You know have
the smart thing that they're going to do is they're main eventing 2 guys from there.
Yeah.
Right. Now, listen. Bad Bunny is he's top 3. I mean, you would say Daddy Yankee of reggaeton, Daddy Yankee of recent because you headed out back in the 90s. But right now, when you think current, people will say it's Daddy Yankee, Bad Bunny, and probably N.W.A, right? Because
well,
I think those are those are your top 3 guys.
Well, no. If you say current right now,
current.
Daddy Yankee will not even be on the list. It'll be Bad Bunny,
N.W.A.
Anual WOAD.
Yes.
WOAD, him and Raj Alejandro.
Okay, I'll go with that.
For the simple reason that that's the music that is everywhere right now. They're everywhere as sporting events. They're sitting ringside as boxing. N.W.A, he was just sitting at the playoff game, and Shaq comes and sit next to him, asking if they could sit next to him, and they shook hands. So right now, current are those guys right now that are killing the game right now. But Bad Bunny is like the biggest Puerto Rican anything right now, going up against in his own hometown against another Puerto Rican. Selena Vega is going to be there challenging Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown title. So you have another Puerto Rican going to wrestle there. She's not going to win the title.
See what they're doing though.
Yeah,
she's not making sure that they bring their fans in.
Exactly. And they just came out with an LWO shirt with the Puerto Rican colors.
The Puerto Rican one that Trinidad's rocking.
Yes. And I was shocked.
Know how much money?
Yes, I was shocked about that when I saw that.
Yeah, because LWO always kind of did that Mexican flag.
It's the Mexican,
right?
yeah. Because remember,
the thing was,
at that time they were all Mexicans at that time.
Yeah. But Trinidad is Puerto Rican from Queens. You know what I'm saying? She's from Woodside, Queens. So,
exactly.
But to put that, I don't think that they just said, oh well, not Trinidad. Trinidad was her Impact name. What? Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega. Yeah, we'll be.
Well, Thea is a real name. Remember her?
Yeah.
Rosita back then.
Rosita. There you go.
Back then.
So Zelina Vega, WWE. I don't think they sat back and said, "Oh, because you're Puerto Rican, we're going to make a shirt for you." I don't think that was it. I think saying, "Well, I mean, they could.
It's
being to Puerto Rico.
It's being sold in the WWE shop
already."
Yeah, because I saw one of the followers on Twitter, and I asked him, like, "Dude, when you get this shirt, was that a special
like
job on it?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Is that a special job that you?" I know. He goes, "No, this is from the WWE shop. They have it there because of they go Puerto Rico being the show coming up, so they have the color, except they don't have the star on it, the Puerto Rico star, but they have the L
so it's just blue, the red, white, blue."
Yeah, it's just the red L and then the WO in blue.
White and okay.
Yeah.
But you know what though?
But
if you don't even have
the
that
star, but
star,
you know it's the Puerto Rican colors. Yeah, you know it's the Puerto Rican color.
If you don't put that star on it, it don't matter at that point because
exactly.
you put that in Puerto Rico. Do you know that's the #1 shirt going to be sold over Roman Reigns and everything else? It's not even like
that shirt is going to be going out of stock when they get there.
Quick,
if it hasn't yet. So going back to that, the revenue that they're gonna generate in Puerto Rico this next 2 days is gonna be crazy.
Well, see, but we could kind of transition to what you're saying back to what we were saying.
But the thing is, they don't think the people like the guys here. They don't think like that. It's all about money. Oh, we don't do politics here. We don't do that stuff here. Yes, you do. Politics is the green. The green pays you your money. So, if us, we think differently. Like, yo, man, this would be something. I will say, dude, I don't care, yo, chef. I don't care if we lose every damn match. I just want to have a show where my people are there, and it'll be a big deal because you have two different companies having a joint show going up against each other. You don't see that stuff anymore. Last time I saw something like that was WCW against Japan.
Yeah, what was that?
Yeah,
90s?
when they had like eight
90s?
matches. Yeah, like in late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
WCW did that. That was the last time I seen a joint show like that. But now everything is, now Impact does it with some of their New Japan stars. Not the big ones.
It's more of a pay-per-view than a program.
Yeah. It's called a multiverse. So they take advantage of the guys, and they get the money because if oh shit, I know those guys, I'm going to get the pay-per-view. Well, I'm going to be there for this.
Yeah.
If that ever happens, it will be monumental in today's age of how business is being done, that you're able to put your feelings aside and the politics and say, you know something? Money is bigger than anything else. We could generate some money. We could split the house. We could split the house. I don't care if we win all you could lose. I could lose all the matches. Let's split the house.
And you know what's crazy?
We split the house and you
don't care if they win or lose.
Yeah. You split the house, middle 50-50. The merchandise, you keep your merchandise, we keep our merchandise money.
Yeah.
Whoever sells more, whatever. Concessions. Dude, you will be making crazy money because you being shot. Like, what? You're going to have this against this? Wow.
And the part that a lot of fans might not get is, and I shouldn't be doing this like I'm Italian, but what fans don't get is if MLW and Impact actually did this, it's less money that they put in. I cut half of the venue, you cut half of the venue. I bring half the show, you bring half the show. Right? So that's half lights, half venue. And we're just cutting everything down the middle. Right? And your MLW fans are going to want in. Impact fans are going to want in. You're going to get all these fans that want in. You're going to sell because you can't sell enough tickets.
Yeah.
You can't. Because so many of your following, if MLW could sell out ECW's arena, imagine if Impact and MLW did that, it sells out in like a half hour.
Yeah.
Because both fans.
Because Impact being selling the show too. Yeah. But you know what I mean? You have to do it in a neutral place that's bigger than ECW arena. Get away from the ECW arena.
Yeah.
Get out from there. Go somewhere else that's hot. That's nice.
Go to Atlanta. You got to go to Atlanta.
Yeah. Atlanta, summer, which is good. Florida, Chicago, some place like that where in the summer it's hot, and you bring in and say, okay, let's do this now. We're going to do this joint show, like back in the days when it was AWA against WCCW, and it was called what the hell was called?
Oh, that I won't remember.
Yeah, it was back in the 80s when they had like 3 shows in a row, and it was down in the Cotton Bowl. Dude,
I remember you talking about that. Yeah,
50,000 or more people sitting there in a wrestling outside in the middle. Dude, and this thing is packed. And you're like, my God, if these people did that back then,
imagine now.
And people see that now see what they were doing now, then, and inflation has hit everything in the last 40 years.
Yup.
Imagine the money that you could bring in now with the ticket prices and the pay-per-view that nobody knew back then.
And you know, if on a grand stage things, if it worked, your next time you go into it, seeing the value of, okay, we did this, and we can keep growing. The Dolphins in Miami, they have that roof, right?
Yep.
And that would be such a, I mean, that would be like, I don't know, fucking world collides or something, whatever you call it, and you do a massive show. But I mean, I had to come on here and talk to you because we started this talking Impact. This is where me and you linked.
Yeah, but imagine all the wrestlers, or I want to say 95% of the wrestlers now in the last 20 years, it's all about the WrestleMania moment.
Yeah.
What about those guys who cannot make it to WWE, or unfortunately WWE don't look at them? Now you have this 1 year event between two different companies, N.W.A, Impact, and MLW, and you have this humongous summer super something every year, and then that's your moment because this is the first time this happened, and you make that into a yearly thing. Shit, you get New Japan involved if they want to get in.
See,
you get AAA, CMLL, you get the other Japanese companies up there, yeah. And you have this humongous crazy thing.
We've talked about this before, and when we were doing on the Bodega Wrestling Network podcast, we had said, we wanted guys, at this point I was living in the Impact Zone. We wanted guys to be in Impact to say, I want my Bound for Glory moment, right? Because a lot of guys, and I don't care who hears this, and they can say no, and you're full of shit if you try to say these guys are liars. If WWE calls you, you're going.
Mm-hmm.
You're not saying no. And if WWE, when people go, oh, well, this person could have went to WWE, no, the fuck they wouldn't. Because if they could have, they would have. If WWE calls, they run. And even when WWE does you dirty and they release you and you feel a certain way and they call you, which we've seen mad times, people go running right back. All right? It just shows you the power of WWE. But for all these guys who won't get that opportunity, like you said, if they sit back and it becomes the Miami Bowl or whatever once a year, whatever that super show is called, and it's such a huge deal, you're getting that moment.
It was called Super Clash.
Super Clash. Okay. So if just say Super Clash becomes this thing, and you go, oh shit, I'm one of the 4 wrestlers on my own company. That's a big deal because the rest of the roster's not here. I'm doing my thing on Super Clash. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be such an amazing thing that you could have these companies do something massive. And this is what we're saying. Stop the egos, get the bag. You want the bag? Go get it.
And then they were doing this thing called Super Clash. And that was the one that was like they had it like a rock version thing. I mean, the first time they had that was in '85, and they did it in outside in the Comiskey Park. They had 20,000 people. They had 20,000 people in attendance outside in a baseball park in Comiskey Park back in the days when they used to be the White Sox used to play there. That was Wrestle Rock '85, and then Wrestle Rock '86, the Metrodome, 23,000 people.
Dang.
And then they did 85, 86, 87, they did 3 before, everybody started buying the other companies off. But, like you said, back then, you talk about 40 years ago, like 30 years plus, tickets were probably $15, $20. Front row was probably $25 to $50, right?
Yeah.
Back then in those days. And now look at today. The front alone will cost you $500 now for a front row seat.
Yep.
And you could charge $50 for the nosebleeds. You get that thing packed up for the 3 different companies or 2 companies wrestling in one. You get the Metrodome or something like that. That's nice in a dome. You pack it up. Because you'll be a super show. Like Impact did with no, I'm sorry, Ring of Honor did with New York with New Japan Wrestling back a couple of years ago. Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
They met us with Greg Hardy, remember that? And they
that's where Kelly Klein won the belt.
Yeah, and that's where and they had like Bradley was almost sold out. I met us with Greg Hardy. And he was a super
and I mean,
Ring of Honor. Yeah, Ring of Honor could have never done it by itself, but because they had New Japan Wrestling and other wrestlers from other companies participating, they made that money. And unfortunately, Ring of Honor is dead. It's gone now. It's AEW Ring of Honor Light, and no one has said, something. Let's put the egos aside. Let's do what these guys did, and let's get that money once a year. It doesn't have to be every single we're gonna do this every month. No. Every once a year. You will never be WrestleMania, but you can come close to it.
You know what? And I think they got more information and a way better podcast. And I thought we were gonna just jump in here real quick and talk. I mean, we got some Puerto Rico going on. We got some Bad Bunny. So they
that's huge. That's huge, bro. I mean, that's huge. WWE right now in Puerto Rico right now. Shit, that is huge, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody in the mamas are going to be in that show Friday and Saturday.
And the crazy part is, you already know that a lot of the reggaeton people are going to be there too.
Bro,
I don't know if you want in.
I don't know if you ever watched the World Baseball Classic that just happened.
Yeah, of course.
I don't think WWE is going to let any Puerto Ricans go in there with musical instruments. Okay, the guy with the bango, the people with the and the
fake Pino Puente out there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I do not think that they're gonna let people go in there with those things because they do that in wrestling in Puerto Rico. They do that. They have the people when they're having the matches, bro. Imagine, I can't wait to Friday because I want to see how that crowd is gonna be on TV. I want to see if anybody's going to have musical instruments. It's going to be crazy, bro. It's going to be crazy.
When is that?
Friday. This week. Friday.
Oh, and is that going to be on the network? Because the WWE network.
Yes, yeah. Me too. I didn't know I had it till by mistake when I put it on. I said, "Oh shit, I do have this." And I watched a couple of matches from WrestleMania. I don't want to write whatever. But this one, I'm definitely jumping in just to see how the crowd's gonna be.
That's gonna be crazy. You know what?
I can't wait.
I'm excited for it.
Yes.
We got 4 shows for you this week, but we'll chop it up into 2 this week, 2 next week. So, we'll talk about it whenever we're gonna talk.
Yes.
About for next week when we drop these. The big homie, MLW Confusion. We out of here. Deuces.